Asked about Kyrie Irving before the season, LeBron James said, "When he was ready to take over the keys, I was ready to give them to him. But by then, it was too late." The Cavaliers had already traded the point guard to the Celtics, leaving LeBron in the driver's seat. It won't be LeBron's last chance to find a teammate worth deferring to. LeBron can opt out this summer. Broussard of Fox Sports on the herd with Colin Cowherd. "I've been told by somebody that would know that LeBron wants to play off the ball. I'm talking about LeBron going to Philly and playing like more of a true small forward. What I was told is LeBron has done that, because he's never really had a teammate who was a playmaker for other guys." The 76ers, Ben Simmons, Rockets, James Harden and Chris Paul, and Lakers, Lonzo Ball, all have playmakers who'd allow LeBron to play off the ball more often. Know who doesn't? The Cavs, who require LeBron to create so much for himself and his teammates. Cleveland could change that through the draft, Trae Young, free agency or trades. But the Cavaliers are playing from behind if this is important to LeBron. There are really two questions at play here. Does LeBron actually want to play off the ball? Rumors like this can easily get overstated. Does LeBron think he actually wants to play off the ball? This is probably the more important question. LeBron might shift into old habits once he tries to play off the ball. Many stars struggle to transition into a complementary role. But if this is what he thinks he wants, that could factor into his upcoming free agency. Managing LeBron's role next season might be tricky. It's far more important just to get him on your team first. Boston, AP, Cavaliers forward LeBron James left Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals Tuesday night and went to the Cleveland locker room in the second quarter after colliding with Boston's Jason Tatum under the basket. He returned a few minutes later and finished out the half with what the Cavaliers said was a strained neck. James was under the basket when he collided with Tatum, whose shoulder hit James squarely in the jaw. James was shown rubbing his chin, and then he went to the locker room. LeBron James on Tatum collision. "It was a tough blow, obviously incidental. His shoulder hit me square in the jaw, so I just wanted to go back and make sure everything was fine. But it didn't affect my game after that." Jared Weiss, at Jared Weissenba, May 16, 2018. After scoring just 15 points in Boston's Game 1 blowout, James had 21 in the first quarter on Tuesday night. He finished the half with 25 points, 6 assists and 4 rebounds. Stop me if you've heard this one before. NBA officials made a questionable call regarding a player ejection in a meaningful playoff game. On Tuesday night, Cleveland Cavaliers guard Junior Smith was given a flagrant one for pushing Boston Celtics big man Al Horford during an alley-oop attempt. Smith made no attempt to make a play on the ball, and Horford was sent careening under the basket near the stanchion. That caused Marcus Smart to get in Smith's face, with the two pushing until they were separated. Both players were impotently assessed a technical foul, and Smith was given a flagrant one. Via Twitter, "We have each other's backs," says Al Horford. Marcus Smart had his back tonight. Biceps Boston Celtics, at Celtics, May 16, 2018. Just for fun, let's review the definition of a flagrant 2, via the NBA website. A flagrant foul penalty, 2, is unnecessary and excessive contact committed by a player against an opponent. It is an unsportsmanlike act and the offender is ejected immediately. The NBA prides itself on making sure players aren't making dangerous plays toward each other, especially in the playoffs. The league made an entire rule about landing space after Zaza Pachulia injured Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. That refs allowed Smith to continue playing is embarrassing to the league. Smith's foul was a textbook example of a flagrant 2, and the double tech after was a bit of an insult. Smart and Celtics took Game 2, but no doubt the league should be looking at Smith's dangerous actions further in the coming week. At least Boston fans got a chant going to help assuage their feelings. NSFW, after Game 1 between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Boston Celtics, the question was whether the team-first strategy of the Celtics could withstand the LeBron onslaught. Now, we have our answer. In Game 2 on Tuesday night, Boston showed they were the stronger team yet again by following a strict game plan: switch on LeBron and do the best you can, then rotate out on Cleveland's shooters to neutralize the rest of the Cavaliers roster. Brad Stevens even said as much during an interview during the broadcast, so it wasn't a surprise when that appeared to be Boston's approach. It worked like a charm. LeBron was magnificent in the first half, scoring 25 points and accounting for 15 shots compared to 18 for the rest of Cleveland's starters. Although a knock to the face put him back in the locker room with a neck strain for a few moments, it was clear that James was on a warpath from the start. The only problem was that Boston wasn't giving way, and the Cavaliers took just a 55-48 lead into the half. And yet, it was the Celtics and their steady approach that turned the tide during the final 2 quarters. Terry Rozier went off, Marcus Smart out-hustled everyone on the floor, and Marcus Morris came up big as Boston outscored Cleveland, 36-22, in the third quarter. That allowed for a swing not only on the scoreboard, but in momentum. LeBron, perhaps slowed by his neck getting dinged up or just from carrying the Cavaliers franchise for a decade, seemed off the rest of the game. His fadeaways clanged off the side of the iron, and his three-point attempts started coming up short. Things got a little heated late in the game as Junior Smith underhandedly pushed Al Horford in the back while he was airborne, leading to a flagrant 1 for Smith. Smart, who rushed to the aid of his teammate, earned a technical along with Smith for some pushing after the play. Yet no amount of bad blood could spoil Boston's game plan, even with James posting another impressive stat line. The Celtics' defense poured it on, clamping down even harder in the fourth quarter and allowing just 17 points. James would finish the game with a triple-double of 42 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. Kevin Love added 22 points and 15 rebounds, but only Kyle Korver scored in double figures for the Cavaliers. For Boston it was another team effort, with Jaylen Brown leading the way with 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Horford posted a double-double of 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. All 5 Celtics starters scored in double figures. Game 3 is in Cleveland on Saturday. LeBron will have some time to think about what the Cavaliers can do to get back in this series. There's not much else the King can enact himself. He needs a better tactical approach by Ty Lue and execution from his supporting cast. Meanwhile, the Celtics let James go nuts and still won. Now, Boston has a 2-0 series lead heading back to Ohio. DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley 3, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr. Mohamed I-Bamba. It's considered a top-heavy draft class in 2018 with potential franchise players at the top, and the Phoenix Suns will have their pick of all of them. The Suns tanked their way to the worst record in the NBA last season, and it paid off Tuesday night as the team with the best odds, a 25% chance at the top, won the NBA draft lottery. This will be the first time in the history of the Suns franchise they have the number 1 pick. Now those Suns face an interesting choice. They just hired Igor Kokoskov, the longtime NBA assistant coach, most recently with Utah, as their head coach. He is also the Serbian national team coach and has an excellent relationship with and scouting report on Doncic. That said, Ayton is the guy on top of most teams' draft boards and he attended the University of Arizona just down the I-10. The big moves were below it. The Sacramento Kings moved up to the No. 2 slot from what was the 7th best lottery odds. The Kings had just a 6% chance of landing the 2nd pick. They will be able to put someone out there to play with last year's rookies De'Aaron Fox and Bogdan Bogdanović. The Atlanta Hawks moved up 1 spot. They had the 4th best odds and will be picking 3rd as they add to their rebuild efforts. That means the Memphis Grizzlies, Dallas Mavericks, Orlando Magic, and Chicago Bulls all slid down a spot from their projected spots. Here are the full draft lottery results, and the draft order: 1 Phoenix Suns, 2 Sacramento Kings, 3 Atlanta Hawks, 4 Memphis Grizzlies, 5 Dallas Mavericks, 6 Orlando Magic, 7 Chicago Bulls, 8 Cleveland Cavaliers, 9 Nets, 9 New York Knicks, 10 Philadelphia 76ers, 11 Charlotte Hornets, 12 Los Angeles Clippers, Pistons, 13 Los Angeles Clippers, 14 Denver Nuggets. Remaining draft order: 15 Washington Wizards, 16 Phoenix Suns, Heat, 17 Milwaukee Bucks, 18 San Antonio Spurs, 19 Atlanta Hawks, Timberwolves, 20 Minnesota Timberwolves, Thunder, 21 Utah Jazz, 22 Chicago Bulls, Pelicans, 23 Indiana Pacers, 24 Portland Trail Blazers, 25 Los Angeles Lakers, Cavaliers, 26 Philadelphia 76ers, 27 Boston Celtics, 28 Golden State Warriors, 29 Brooklyn Nets, 30 Atlanta Hawks, Houston Rockets.